We are talking about roses. I'm Ella. You've seen me up here a few times before. I've been working here at the Garden Center for 3 years. Today, we were able to get Cheryl up here to teach a class. Cheryl is our rose queen. She has been working for nurseries and growers for many years, with much experience with gardening, with growing, with everything having to do with the garden retail and wholesale business. So she's got a lot of experience and a lot of experience with roses, so we wanted to bring her up here, introduce you. She's been here for a little over a year now. So you've seen her around the garden center. And
these are my babies.
Yes, she takes very, very good care of the rose section, among other things. So today, I think we'll start with the basic types of the roses. We don't have to get into too much detail. I know you've heard all kinds of odd names like polyanthus and things like that. We're just going to talk about the basic groups of roses. There's the bush rose, which includes the hybrid teas, the Floribunda, the grandifloras. The bush roses are the ones that tend to need some regular pruning. They get these long canes, lots of leaves, and big, beautiful flowers, very fragrant, well known for fragrance. This is the most common type of rose, most commonly recognized. It includes the hybrid teas. The hybrid teas came around in the 1880s, and since then they've been split into 3 basic categories. The Floribundas, this is the Floribunda right here. The Floribundas tend to have multiple flowers on one stem. You see that, how it's got clusters like that? That's your Floribunda. So this is a great plant when you want lots of color. They bloom profusely. Beautiful, beautiful plants. Typically grow around to nice, about 5 feet or so. Typical for Floribundas. Just yeah. Here we have the grandiflora. The grandiflora, notice the leaves are larger. When this has more time to grow, it's going to get to be a pretty large plant. Most grandifloras can get pretty tall, some of them even as much as 8 feet or more. A lot of them will have really large roses. It's such a big plant that it can really support nice, large roses. A famous example is a peace. We didn't have one in stock just yet, so I couldn't bring it up, but that's that one that has an enormous, fills your hand flower with a strong, sweet scent. Famous rose. So grandifloras are the ones that you can put them up against the side of the house or something, and just takes up all the wall space, puts color against the house without needing a trellis or anything. And then the third type is basic hybrid tea, the one that we continue to call a hybrid tea. I think this is grandiflora. Let's see, this one's new this year. This one's called Pretty Lady. It's sort of a purpley pink, I don't know how to describe it. It's really pretty. I don't know how well it's showing up to everyone. It's not quite bloomed yet, but brand new this year. I've got a really good picture actually. It was named after a character on Downton Abbey. Last year they started a series of roses dedicated to Downton Abbey. That's how popular that TV show has gotten. So a whole series coming out. Last year they released Anna's Promise. This year it's Pretty Lady, based on Lady Rose. Creative, right? But a really gorgeous color. Just gorgeous. Another one that has just been released this year is Miss Congeniality. You can see that color. You can see it's a creamy white with sort of pinkish purple edges. Very, very pretty. This is going to be just awesome to look at when it's in full bloom. This is a Floribunda. No, sorry, grandiflora. So again, you're looking at a fairly large rose. The grandifloras tend to have high petal counts. That's where you get those big, full roses. And as we warm up a little more, this is going to just burst into bloom. The flowers are going to get bigger, give a lot of color to them, just be magnificent. So these are going to be some beautiful, magnificent looking roses. The second type we'll talk about is the shrub rose. This one is going to form a dense mound, just a bush. The shrub roses don't need to be pruned. They don't have to have certain canes snipped out every year. You just, maybe kind of give them a little trim, a haircut once a year near the end of winter, and that's about it. So just, you've seen some beautiful rose bushes around the courthouse. There's some around the Fry's parking lot that have red flowers. Everyone comes in here and asks what those are. That is a type of shrub rose. That particular one is Maryland. It is a shrub rose, and so you'll notice very dense mound instead of having visible canes. Very easy care, like I said, doesn't need extensive pruning. Just kind of trim off the tops. Usually you don't even have to deadhead them. When they're done blooming, if you could deadhead them, great, but a lot of times they leave a very small little rose hip that's not really noticeable, which usually just dries up and falls off on its own. So very, very easy care. Again, big, profuse bloomers, just covered in them. Just beautiful, instant impact when you put it in the yard. Lots of color.
They're also disease resistant as well.
Yes, she's right. They're also disease resistant. They tend to have less problems with fungus. Even aphids and insects seem to bother them less. The shrub roses just do great. This particular one is called a knockout. The knockouts, do I really have to explain that to you?
Yeah.
So that's one shrub rose. Here's another one. That's another shrub rose. This one's not a double. This is what we call a single petal when there's only a single row of petals. This one is called Sweet Spot Calypso. You can see the fabulous color this gets. Kind of reminds you of the Joseph's coat. Some of you have the Joseph's coat, which is probably our most popular primer. This is the Joseph's coat right here. Right now it's showing a lot of yellow, but it goes through phases. Just like the Calypso, it'll come out with reds and pinks and oranges and sort of all the whole range of sunset colors. Like I said, right now it's looking rather yellow. Other times it'll look more pink, orange, and other times it'll just have all the colors all at once. So really lives up to its name. That's Joseph's Coat Climber. Climbers are basically, in nature, they're kind of ramblers. They sort of ramble on the ground, but if they have something to support them, they can go up a trellis or a fence or something. So if you just weave it up a little bit so that it goes up rather than out, you'll end up with a beautiful, beautiful climber. Beautiful on arches, trellises, or you could just tie it to a stake like they are here. A great way to get height and color on walls and along arbors and fences, just like the grandiflora. Oh yeah, we've got Cecil back here. This one right here is called Crimson Sky. This gorgeous red rose. Big, big flowers like the hybrid teas. And then this one's the Cecil Bruner. This is one of those kind of old-fashioned roses. Smaller flower, but lots of them. And just
Smell good.
oh goodness, they do smell good. The great thing about these old-fashioned roses, very fragrant. So they do. Just a wonderful, easy care rose. And then last and not least, but the small 2-foot roses. This includes miniature roses. Basically, sort of looks like a hybrid tea, but in miniature. You get it usually about 2 feet by 2 feet, approximately. And then the carpet roses.
Another no maintenance rose.
Another no maintenance rose. This looks a lot like the shrub rose, only shorter. Dense, and it's a couple feet tall, maybe 3 feet wide. It's a little bit wider than tall. Again, very resistant to fungus, mildew, aphids. It's just another one of those very problem-free roses. So if you're looking for flowers that don't grow very tall, that are easy care for your garden, carpet roses are an excellent choice. You might not have even really thought about roses when you were thinking about flowers. You know, you generally think roses, big, tall, bushy. The carpet roses are the same size as most of your perennials. So this is something that you can put in, easy care, and it takes care of itself there. So now that we've gone over the basic types, what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the care, start with the planting. And, oh, I forgot about this guy. I did want to point out, this is the iceberg right here. The nice thing about iceberg, almost entirely thorn-free. Look at that, just smooth stems. Bushy, what was this, a Floribunda or a shrub?
It's a Floribunda.
It's a Floribunda, okay. Couldn't remember which. Again, you see the clusters of roses, but fairly nice sized roses.